What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers are now on a three-game losing streak. They've had a three-game losing streak in almost every month. But the question is it panic time, right? You had Luka go and drop 45. Austin Reeves gave you 28, although 11 was kind of in the fourth quarter. Luka was trying his best to try to carry that team. No one else really showed up. The bench didn't really show up. It just was not great, right? The defense was not there. All the things that you were looking for just at least that competitiveness was not there. You are playing the Denver Nuggets. We'll see how that game goes today. Do the Lakers actually show up and deliver and play to the level that we need them to play against the Denver Nuggets? That, I think, is a very real question. Talked about it going into this little back-to-back and even just the stretch period. If I could, press a button and choose, if I had to choose, right? Obviously, I'd love to win both of the games, but if I had to choose between the Milwaukee Bucks game or the Denver Nuggets game, it would be the Denver Nuggets game because you're fighting with that team for seeding, right? They're all tied in the loss column, right? You need that win more than you need the Milwaukee Bucks win. Again, I'd love to have both, but it doesn't always work out that way. My other concern is, did Luka and Austin Reeves kind of, do the lion's share in this game, and now that kind of affects the next game, or are they able to kind of pick up right where they left off, not to mention travel and just everything else that goes into it. So there are definitely some questions. I don't think it's panic time. I don't think it's like, oh my god, the sky is falling yet. Talked about this going into the stretch. Luckily, the Lakers handled business early on in the season to put themselves in a position where they should be able to weather the storm. Seen in the last few seasons, the Lakers didn't do that, right? The last few seasons, the Lakers actually did the opposite. They struggled mightily very early on, and it ended up putting the Lakers behind the eight ball, and they had to go and kind of rush and win, 20 out of 25 games and all this stuff just to make the play-in, not counting the playoffs. I am fairly confident, obviously never say never, but I am fairly confident the Lakers are going to finish at least a top 5 seed. And I've said, as long as the Lakers are healthy, I'm fine, right? Seeding, at the end of the day, it's a vanity metric in a lot of ways. Obviously, I'd love to have the 2 seed or the 3 seed or something like that, but I really want a top 4 seed. As long as we get a top 4 seed, I think we're good, right? Because top 4 seed would give the Lakers home court, at least in the first round, to kind of work through the kinks and whatever they need to get through. LeBron's going to play at least 7 more games because he's going to want that 65 games to qualify for all the accolades and things like that, all NBA. And he's having a ridiculous season. So he's going to qualify for a lot of the awards or just voting and things like that, which would be a nice little nod to him. So I do expect LeBron to at least play those 7 games. I don't want him to rush back from injury. There's already talks about him being day-to-day. I don't really like that, right? Obviously, if he's healthy and he's good and he's fine, and look, LeBron is a freak of nature, right? The guy, if somebody is out for 4 weeks, you can expect LeBron to be, it'll only be 2, right? It's one of those things with LeBron. But I also don't want him feeling this sense of I need to get back so that way we can stay in the hunt for a top seed, right? I'd rather LeBron take his time, even if we finish in the top 5, right? So be it. Because at the end of the day, we're not winning anything unless LeBron and Luka are healthy. If LeBron and Luka are healthy, we have a chance. We're in good shape to potentially make some noise here and go on one of those Cinderella runs, right? And maybe even hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the year. But if LeBron isn't healthy and all these other, it's just, it's a lot, right? So I'd rather LeBron prioritize his health, getting right. Look, LeBron knows his body better than anybody. The guy puts more time, energy, effort, money into his body and his training and all that stuff than anybody else. So if LeBron's the last person I'm worried about, but still, he is still human as much as we like to pretend like he's not. And as crazy as it is at times to kind of watch him play. But again, I don't think the sky is falling yet. Lakers have not lost 4 straight. I was looking at the schedule on the live stream last night in the post-game stream, and Lakers have had multiple 3-game losing streaks. This would be a game that could be the first 4. I hope not. I hope the Lakers handle business. I do have concerns, not only because LeBron's out, obviously, but if we had Rui at least. That would help a ton because he's big and physical, and you can run kind of different defensive sets on Jokic because Rui can hold his own, at least physically down there on the interior. Plus, just gives you another guy that go get you 20 on any given night, right? That would do wonders, I think, for this team. Jackson Hayes, obviously, if we get him back, then that just gives us, a legit 7-footer, that lob threat for Luka, right? Kind of get his assist totals back up. I want Luka and Reeves to continue where they left off. I want them to continue to be aggressive, but we need other guys to pick it up, right? Like Gabe Vincent was coming off of the game of his Laker career, and then followed that up with just a dud. And he had wide open looks. He had 4 in the first quarter where he's just wide open, like nobody around, and couldn't knock him down in the corner, right? You had it in the short corner and you couldn't knock it down. Like, got to hit those shots. All right, hopefully, guys kind of get into a better rhythm, get into a better flow. Also, it's the Nuggets, right? And my hope is that the Lakers have this sense of urgency and have this sense of get up, right? Like, hey, we just beat Denver. There's been this narrative the last few seasons, which rightfully so, they've smacked us. Let's change that narrative, right? You do have the inherent kind of built in, like, hey, well, we didn't have anybody, but like, I don't want that. Like, I want to beat them and just be like, see, look, like, this is different. This is a different year, a different season. Bring them on come playoff time type thing, right? But everything's a step. I obviously would have loved to beat the Nets, because if you would have handled business against the Nets, that's why I said and felt the Nets game was so important, because if you would have won that game and handled business in that regard, then at least you're not on a potential 4-game losing streak if you lose to the Nuggets. Like, yeah, you still lost 3 out of your last 4, but people just kind of look at like where you're at right now. They lost the back-to-back, and the conversation is very different than if they lose to the Nuggets. Like, right now, people are already like concerned, and the sky is falling, and it's over, and this, that, and the other. And then if they lose to the Nuggets, like, oh, boom, everyone's just that pendulum is just gonna swing heavy the other way. I'm not entirely worried about it yet, right? I said if we could go 3-3 during this like 6-game stretch where we have these games on the back-to-backs, that would be a win, right? If we ended up going 2-4, I think that's fine. Now, if we go like 1-5 or 0-6, that's not good, right? Like, I don't think LeBron will be back for this 6 games and 8-night stretch. Personally, I don't. Obviously, I don't know, right? Obviously, I'm not talking to like me and LeBron ain't buddies. Where it's like, hey, buddy, like, when are you planning on coming back? I'd love to know. I imagine, though, that it might be shortly after that, right? Like, I could see him 22nd, 24th, somewhere in that range where he comes back. Again, I want them to be patient with him, but it's easier to be patient if the Lakers are weathering the storm. I'm not saying that they have to win. I'm not saying that they have to, win their next 4 or 5 games. It'd be great, right? Like, that'd be nice if that could happen. But like I said, if you get through the 6-game stretch and you're 3-3, you're fine. You got 43 wins. Said if they can get around 50, I think they'll be a top 4 seed. LeBron comes back. Probably going to win, a handful of those games. You still got like 11 games left at that point, right? So it's kind of like, or whatever, 12 games left, whatever it is. Where now it's like, okay, we can make this last season push, healthy LeBron, Luka, maybe Luka get a night off or 2, right? Kind of get guys right, get guys in order, and then boom, right? Let's kind of build some momentum getting into the postseason, and now let's try to go on that run. I also do think that during this stretch, though, it is very good for Luka and is very good for Austin Reeves. Like, I made a video yesterday diving into like, hey, Luka and Reeves, this is important for them because it kind of allows them to build that chemistry, allows LeBron to kind of take a step back and evaluate that situation as well. LeBron said himself, Luka's going to be on ball, then Reeves, I'll plug in and kind of figure it out. Well, what's the best way to do that? LeBron kind of out of the picture momentarily, so that way Luka and Reeves kind of figure out their 2-man game, and then LeBron can kind of just plug and play from there, put him in a better position, in my opinion, right? I think that would be good for the Lakers. Also, just LeBron getting rest, considering the season he's had and how much work he's had to put into this season, how much he's had to kind of carry during stretches this year. It'd be nice to kind of take 2 weeks off, or 2.5 weeks off, or whatever, however long he can take off. Kind of just rest his body, regroup, recoup, rest his mind, right? Because you got to keep in mind too, he also was playing in the Olympics, and he wasn't just there for waving and taking pictures, right? Like he was carrying Team USA on stretches, right? He was their closer. He was the guy, right? He was still the best player on Team USA for almost all of those games. Steph kind of came alive towards the end there, but man, LeBron for large majority, so it's a lot of wear and tear, a lot going on with him that I think that this rest is still good. Obviously it's frustrating because we're just in the toughest stretch of the season for the Lakers, and we're trying to fight for seeding and all that stuff, and it's just like, it's frustrating. I understand the sentiment of like the sky is falling, but let's be patient. As hard as it is, I think we'll be fine. Right? I think we'll be at worst top 5 seed, which is what I said going into the season. Obviously, I didn't think we would get Luka, but top 5 seed. I still think we have a real shot at the top 4 seed, but we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Phil, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Think like, yeah, it's not panic mode yet. Just take a step back. Let things develop. Let things unfold. Even if they lose to Denver tomorrow, I still don't think it's panic yet. Not a good start. It's definitely something of concern, but, see what the next wave. I want to kind of get through the first 2 sets of back-to-backs. Once we get through those 2 sets, then I'll kind of see, because like, what if they say they lose to Denver and then they win the next 2 back-to-backs? It's like, okay, like they kind of balanced it out, right? So we'll see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.